Howdy, folks. Oh, God, it's wet. It's wet wood your walls here from needcoffee.com. Back again for another Wayhomer review. Oh, we're moving. All right. I just need to buckle up. Don't mind me. Back again for another Wayhomer review. Here's how it works for the uninitiated. I have just seen a film. I saw it in the cinema back. It's one of these directions. And I am going to tell you about that film on my way home. And tonight we're here to tell you about Jack Reacher. Okay, so Jack Reacher, synopsis. What can we say? Alright, so basically it's a very bad day in Pittsburgh because a sniper decides to basically take shots across the river at some innocent people and take them down for no reason whatsoever. Just one of those random bits of things, sadly in the news. So anyway, so that is happening, and but the good news is they got the guy, and this is all in the trailer, I'm not giving anything away. They got the guy with he was very, very blatant about what he was doing. It was almost like he wanted to get caught. But so anyway, so they've got him, and the one thing that he wants when they question him is he wants them to get Jack Reacher for something. They're not sure what. And Jack Reacher shows up, and hijinks ensue. I think that's the best way of putting it. It becomes clear that there's more going on than what it initially appears. Probably because Tom Cruise is involved. There's your synopsis. Okay, so here's the deal. First, normally I know a lot of people have problems with Tom Cruise, and partly that's because that, he is a bit of a cultist and, a kind of strange guy in his personal life, but I don't really care about any of that because I go to see him as an actor, and I really like him when he's actually acting. I really like him in the non-Tom Cruise roles, like Tropic Thunder. He's one of the two good things that was in the movie Magnolia. I mean, stuff like that. But I do think there is a place for, action hero guy Tom Cruise, because, it only took him 4 tries to get a decent Mission Impossible film going, but good on him. So I think what interested me about this was his choice of this as a film, because, he's a producer on the film. He obviously wanted this film to get made. I haven't read any interviews about why in the world are you doing a pulpy type of film based on a pulpy type of novel. I haven't exactly, read up on it. But this is kind of the ultimate marriage between action guy Tom Cruise and non-Tom Cruise Tom Cruise. So it's quite fascinating. Fascinating choice for what he's doing right now. So, here's the thing. Here's the other interesting thing, is that, I listened to the audiobook. I don't have time to read. Who does? I listened to the audiobook of the book that this is based on, One Shot. I do agree that Jack Reacher is a terrible title. But I will say, because we're reviewing the film and not the book or audiobook, I will say people who enjoyed the book, you will find that they made some very interesting choices about structure, about what characters that they kept and lost, but I think for the most part you'll be pleased. So if you're worried about that from that perspective, there you go. But it is really just a solid sort of crime thriller. It's not even really a whodunit so much, the way they've got it structured, as it is a whydunit, if that makes sense. And you basically have you have that basic structure coupled with the type of hero that we have so many problems with at times, which is, the Wolverine effect. I'm the best there is at what I do. Well, if you're the best you are at what you do, then it's going to be very hard for anybody to do anything other than, just give up. Because, you're obviously going to kick everybody's ass and take names and whatever needs to be done, right? So, but I think they've set it up in such a way where there actually is some opposition going on. Now, the good news is the opposition is director Werner Herzog, who's playing the big bad in the film. And if there's one Well, there's probably three things that I would say were detrimental about the film. One, not enough Werner Herzog, because the dude was creepy as hell, okay? He was fantastic. Number two, not enough Robert Duvall. And really, most films don't have enough Robert Duvall, especially the ones that have no Robert Duvall in them. But even the films with Robert Duvall can always use more Robert Duvall. That's number two. And number three, really the thing was incredibly solid and well done, especially because it was such a human thriller, in that everyone was actually real people. You never got the feeling, I mean, maybe some of the goons and stuff, because, I mean, but they're goons, who cares? But, I mean, you know how so many thrillers and so many crime things, there's just, you know, people that get killed, or people that get affected by the story that what's going on, and they're not really three-dimensional people at all. But they're just there to be victims, or there to be criminals, or whatever else. But you actually... at least on the side of light, shall we say. I mean, the side of dark, not too much. They left out a bunch of stuff. But on the side of light, you actually got some depth to the characters, even the small ones, which I thought was quite fascinating. But, so it was incredibly solid. The only misstep I thought was, and I don't want to give anything away because this is happening basically in the final confrontation, and that's not a spoiler that there's a final confrontation. There's always a final confrontation, okay? But in the final confrontation, part of that confrontation was just blatantly silly, okay? And they set it up to where it made sense, but it was still blatantly silly. Anything that can be solved with a single bullet, and isn't, by either side, is incredibly silly, okay? But that was really the only place where it sort of stepped away from reality into the world of like pulp fiction zaniness. But I'll forgive that, because, I mean, on the other hand, you had really great acting going on, and, I mean, Tom Cruise was good. What I found fascinating was that there wasn't a lot for him to do, other than look stern and beat people, which he does very well, don't get me wrong, but it's almost like, I don't know, and the problem is the character of Jack Reacher, as I understand him, that's what he's really good at doing. Being smart, looking stern, and beating people. And he did all those three things very well, so it's kind of hard to fault him for his performance. So, what does all of that mean? What all that means is, I think it comes down to, it's solid. I was pleased with it. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. I think it's a good solid 3 out of 5 cups. It's a positive film. Should you see it in the cinemas? Well, if you're like a fan of Lee Child's work, or Jack Reacher, or want more films like this, then yes, probably, because of course that's how they grade these things, because they haven't figured out we're in the future yet. But for everyone else who's just fine with waiting the 3 months that it will take for it to hit Blu-ray and DVD, because that's pretty much when everything hits Blu-ray and DVD is 3 months out now, you're fine probably to wait. The one thing I will say that struck me from the get-go was that the cinematography on the film was really quite excellent. So if there's, you know, punching and looking stern, that's fine at home. The one thing I will say that really struck me as it making a big screen type of film is that the cinematography from jump was really quite nice, along with the editing. So that really stuck out to me, that elevated this above, you know, it's obvious they weren't making a Mac Bolan film. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So, yes, I would say if you're going to see it, as always, save some coin and grab an early matinee if you can. So there you have it. That's Jack Reacher, a.k.a. One Shot. And really, guys, you could have just called it Jack Reacher : One Shot. What's wrong with that? I mean, for God's sake, everything, if you're planning for a franchise, everything is franchise name, chapter name. I mean, come on. How hard is that? I mean, it's Paramount. You guys, you have Star Trek. You did that for lots and lots of movies. You should know this by now. I shouldn't be telling you this, but my rates are very reasonable. So thanks to all of you who watch these things and enjoy them. If you do enjoy them, as always, please share them with someone that you know. If you don't enjoy them at all, please share them with a total stranger. As always, as well, I know that by the time this goes up, it'll be, you know, Christmas. But for you people who are late for buying things or forgot somebody, there's always that, oh crap, they got me a present, now I have to go get them a present. Why don't you do so through Amazon? If you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, the stuff you were going to buy anyway, you can buy, and it gives us kickbacks, which helps us keep the lights on, like this one right here. So until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Stay dry, and Merry Xmas. Bye.